Nobody told you the clock started. No alarm went off. No doctor pulled you aside and said, "Hey, your body just changed the rules." But it did. Starting around age 40, the average adult loses 8% of their muscle mass every single decade. That is not a maybe. That is not a worst-case scenario. That is the average. And after 70, the rate doubles to 15% per decade. By 80, half the muscle you had in your prime is gone. Harvard calls it the silent thief. Scientists call it sarcopenia. Your body calls it Tuesday. Here is what makes it cruel. You do not feel it happening. You just wake up one morning and the jar is harder to open. The stairs feel longer. Your back hurts for no reason. You are tired at 2 in the afternoon even though you slept fine, and you think it is age. You think that is just how life goes now. It is not. It is a protein, or more accurately, the lack of it. The average American over 40 eats about 50 to 60 grams of protein a day. Researchers say the real number should be closer to 75 to 90 grams. Some say over 100. That gap between what people eat and what their muscles need is why the decline feels inevitable. It is not. It is a grocery list problem. And this video is the grocery list that fixes it. No powders, no bodybuilder meals, no meal prep factory. Just normal food from a normal store that keeps your body from quietly falling apart. Before the list, you need to understand one thing about protein after 40, because this is where most advice falls apart. When you were 25, your body could turn almost any protein source into muscle. Cheap protein, fast food protein, whatever. Your muscles grabbed it and used it. After 40, that system slows down. Scientists call it anabolic resistance. Your muscles become pickier. They need more protein per meal just to do the same job they used to do with less. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that adults over 40 need at least 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal, not per day, per meal, to trigger muscle protein synthesis. That is the switch that tells your muscles to rebuild instead of breaking down. If you eat 15 grams at breakfast and 45 at dinner, you are not hitting that switch 3 times a day. You are hitting it once, maybe. And there is a specific amino acid that matters more than all the others after 40. It is called leucine. Think of leucine as the key that turns the ignition on muscle repair. Foods high in leucine, eggs, chicken, Greek yogurt, fish, flip that switch far more efficiently than foods that are technically high in protein but low in leucine. That is why the grocery list you are about to see is not random. Every item on it was chosen because it delivers the right kind of protein in the right amount at a price that will not wreck your budget. Most people over 40 eat the worst protein meal of the day first. A bowl of cereal, a piece of toast, maybe a banana and coffee. That is 5 to 8 grams of protein. Your muscles do not even bother waking up for that. Here is what should be on your breakfast shelf instead. Eggs. A dozen costs roughly $2.50 to $3.50 depending on where you shop. 2 eggs give you 13 grams of protein, and they are loaded with leucine. 3 eggs, and you are at 19 grams before you even think about a side dish. Per gram of protein, eggs cost about 6 cents. That is one of the cheapest proteins on the planet. Greek yogurt, plain, not flavored. A 7-ounce serving delivers 17 to 20 grams of protein. Buy the big 32-ounce tub, store brand, for around $4 to $5. That is 4 servings. About $1.25 each. Throw a handful of berries in it. Done. You have just hit the 20-gram threshold your muscles need before 9 in the morning. Cottage cheese is the sleeper. A 1-cup serving gives you 25 to 28 grams of protein. More than Greek yogurt, more than 2 eggs. A 16-ounce container runs about $3.50 to $4.50. That is 2 massive protein meals for less than a coffee at Starbucks. UCLA Health calls it one of the most underrated protein sources in the American diet. 3 items. Eggs, plain Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. That is your breakfast shelf. Rotate between them, and you will never start a day protein deficient again. This is where most people either overspend or underperform. They buy expensive cuts of meat they do not need, or they default to pasta and sandwiches that barely deliver any protein at all. Chicken thighs, bone in, skin on. This is the single cheapest high-quality animal protein you can buy. About $1.40 to $3 a pound, depending on the store. 1 pound gives you roughly 64 grams of protein. That is 2 full meals worth of muscle fuel for a couple of dollars. You do not need boneless, skinless chicken breast at $4 to $5 a pound to get the job done. Thighs are fattier, yes. But the protein content is nearly identical, and your wallet will thank you every week. Canned tuna. A 5-ounce can costs about $1 to $1.25 and delivers 20 to 25 grams of protein. That is a full muscle-building serving for the price of a candy bar. Keep 4 or 5 cans in your pantry at all times. It is the fastest high-protein meal in the store. Open it, put it on bread or a salad, and eat. 2 minutes, 25 grams. canned black beans and lentils. A can of black beans runs about $1 and gives you 15 grams of protein plus 12 grams of fiber. Dry lentils are even cheaper. A $1 bag can yield 97 grams of protein if you cook the whole thing. These are the two foods that prove high protein eating does not require a high protein budget. Add them to rice, soups, salads, wraps. They stretch every meal further. Ground turkey, leaner than ground beef, cheaper in most stores, about $3 to $4 a pound, and 22 grams of protein per 4-ounce serving. Brown a pound on Sunday, split it into containers, and you have ready-made protein for 4 meals. If this is changing how you think about your grocery cart, subscribe. Every video on this channel is built to save you money and protect your health. Hit the bell so you do not miss the next one. Snacking is where protein disappears from most people's day. Chips, crackers, granola bars, all carbs, almost zero protein. After 40, every time you eat something with no protein, you waste a chance to flip that muscle repair switch. Mixed nuts. An ounce of almonds has 6 grams of protein. Peanuts, 7 grams. A jar of mixed nuts costs $5 to $6 and lasts over a week. It is not the most protein-dense option, but it replaces garbage snacks with something that actually feeds muscle. String cheese. 1 stick, 6 to 7 grams of protein, 80 calories, costs about 50 cents from a store brand pack. Keep a bag of these in your fridge and grab one every time you would have reached for a cracker. Canned sardines. Most people will scroll past this one, but a single can delivers about 23 grams of protein, more omega-3 fatty acids than salmon, and it costs about $2. It is one of the most nutrient-dense foods in any grocery store, and almost no one buys it. If you can get past the reputation, this is the most underpriced protein in America. Now the secret weapon, whey protein powder. 1 scoop, about 25 grams of protein loaded with leucine, mixes in water in 10 seconds. A 30-serving tub costs about $25 to $30. That is less than $1 per serving. This is not a bodybuilder supplement. This is insurance. The days you fall short on protein from food, and you will, 1 scoop in a glass of water closes the gap instantly. Let me show you what this actually costs. 3 eggs for breakfast, about 75 cents to $1. A cup of cottage cheese on the side, about $2. Chicken thighs for lunch, roughly $1 to $1.50 per serving. A can of black beans mixed in, about $1. Canned tuna for a snack or light dinner, about $1 to $1.25. A handful of mixed nuts, about 50 cents. Total, around $7. Total protein, well over 100 grams. That is more than enough to hit the 25 to 30 gram threshold at every meal and trigger muscle protein synthesis 3 times in a single day. $7. No supplements needed, no exotic ingredients, no meal prep service, just real food from the regular grocery store. The average American spends over $370 a month on groceries per person. Rerouting even a fraction of that toward these specific items does not add cost. It replaces cost. You are not spending more. You are spending smarter. And your muscles, the ones quietly disappearing while you eat toast and cereal, finally get what they have been asking for. Muscle loss after 40 is real. The science is settled. But it is not a sentence. It is a grocery list problem with a grocery list solution. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, chicken thighs, canned tuna, beans, lentils, ground turkey, nuts, sardines, and 1 tub of protein powder. That is it. No extreme diet, no fitness influencer nonsense. Just food that fights back against a clock your body started without telling you. If this changes how you see your grocery cart, subscribe. Drop a comment. Tell me which item on this list surprised you the most. I read every single one. Next video, we go deeper.